Regular viewers of the channel will be aware that I have been driving this car for a few months now. This car is provided by ecocars.ie. This MG ZS is an early registration this year car, and it is exactly the same as the one that MG Ireland has given me, apart from a different colour. This car is MG Ireland's press car. So I'm going to test this car against this car because I'm very familiar with this car. Like, I know everything about this car, and it needs a software update, and MG Ireland has been in touch with that one as well, and they're going to provide the software update for this one to make it the same as this one. There is some lagging issues in the screen and a few other bits and pieces around the car. You can't charge it when it's locked or unlocked and all that kind of stuff. This one is different, it has the software updates on it. So we're going to test this one as a brand new one from MG Ireland. So I'm back down at Portlaoise Plaza, where you know most of these EV things start, because I'm actually going to drive this car to Dublin and it needs half a tank in it. Still, I drove it down the other day, 225 kilometres starting off, which is like the guessometer, trying to guess how much range you have. And I drove all the way to Portlaoise, which is I did about 95 kilometres, I have 125 left, so it'll actually go further than the guessometer said. But just to show you about charging, so in Portlaoise Plaza we have one of these high power chargers. This is meant to be a 150 kilowatt charger, but actually it's restricted to 50 kilowatts I think at the moment, or 75 or something, because there's not enough power flowing to it. And just over here behind me, among the noise and stuff, is another 50 kilowatt charger. So that's an ordinary charger. You would find them, they're more common on the road. At that charger you can have Type 2, CHAdeMO and CCS. My car is CCS Type 2 as well, being in the two of them. And CHAdeMO is another one. So CHAdeMO is a kind of an older one. This one's going to be extinct eventually, this CHAdeMO version of it. Which is why I debated about the Lexus being such a good car, because that's CHAdeMO only on fast charging. What we want is CCS, which is this one here. So it's Type 2 on the top, and then you have these two at the bottom here to give you the 3-phase electricity. So we're going to plug it in and see what it's all about. Okay, so on the MG, one big criticism I really do have of the MG is where the charging point is located. So you pull out this panel, and then it's tucked away off in here, which is quite hard to get at. If you come right down underneath and have a look up, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's right down here. It's off in at the back of it. So you have to pull off these two caps here, and that exposes the CCS charger. Now, why that's a problem, why that's a big problem, is because this CCS cable is really, really thick and really heavy. This is very, very heavy, this one, right? Because this does 150 kilowatt charger, and it's not liquid cooled, so they make the cable very big. And look, I'm having to pull the cable quite some distance to get it over here, and it's quite hard to manage it into the slot, but it is possible. You push it all the way home, and then you take a little card, which is this one, ESB card, and you touch the front panel here. It checks the card, it even shows you a cup of coffee on the screen, like, go away now and get a cup of coffee while you're waiting. Now it checks the card, and then it starts to connect. Initializing charging processes on the screen already. And then eventually, when the car and the unit starts to communicate with one another, the car asks for a certain amount of charge. The charger says, I can provide this kind of charge to it. One hopefully will start to charge the other, and we'll see how long it takes, mind you. Still waiting for link. This can be an awful time. Never, good recommendation, never walk away and leave that. Never assume it's done it properly, because I've had times where it's gone through all this initializing charging process, all is doing well, and then all of a sudden it'll go, nah, I don't want to charge that car. Here we are, it's pre-charging now. Now, you notice something here. There we go, so it's starting to ramp up now. You can see the time remaining has gone to 2 hours, but we'll see it'll drop down in a second as it starts to provide more power. It says 2 hours remaining. Anyhow, 46% battery. We'll see how that goes in the next few minutes. One thing I will notice is that the car is not locked and it is charging. And the other car, my other MG, which is over there, you have to lock the doors to charge it. So that's one thing in the software updates. The car is actually open and is charging currently. I'm a bit worried by the 2 hours, because the last day I charged fast charged my own MG, it would only charge at 30 kilowatt hours, 30 kilowatts. That's as fast as it was going to charge. And it said 2 hours in that time as well. Here we are at exactly the same point, and it's still saying 2 hours. So something's wrong there. Anyway, we'll see how the charge goes over the next few minutes. We'll give it a few minutes to charge up. I got so annoyed with how slow that charger was going, I moved to this charger to see what this charger is going to do, right? So it's got the same cable, it's CCS, but it's not a big, thick, heavy cable, because this one only charges at 50 kilowatts max. So I'm going to plug this one in. The Battery should be preconditioned at this stage, right? These ones are a little bit easier. You don't have no buttons at all to press. You just put your access card here, and the card, choose CCS because this is CCS, connects and communicates with the car the same again. But we're going to check and see how fast it's charging, because that one doesn't tell you how fast it's charging overall. This one actually has a gauge on the side. You can have a look and see what it's actually doing. It's thinking about it again. There we go. Right, we're starting to charge again. Battery's at 65%, that's correct. 21 seconds of charge so far. No energy delivered yet. There we go, 3 watts. And sure enough, I'm right. It's charging at 28, not 50. Now that's a weird one, because I charged that one, the other MG, the other day, and it charged at 30 as well. There's something wrong in the communications in MG. I'm going to have to ask MG Ireland what's going on there. Come back for an update on that one. So I phoned MG Ireland there and left a message. If I get an answer before the end of this video being published, I'll put a message in the bottom or at the end of the video as to why the cars, both cars, only charge a 30 kilowatt hour. Seems unusual, because I thought by changing over to that one now. That's really bothering me. Anyway, we are currently charging, so that's not too bad. We're all right as we are. Interior of these cars is actually surprisingly pretty good. I don't really have a problem with anything in here. The seats are pretty plush. It seems pleatherish. It's good. It's hard wearing. You got a touch screen. You even have active cruise control. There's Ryan Tuberty wearing someone's ear off. You even have active cruise control in this one, and it's in my one as well, same thing. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, good radio stations, the navigations are built in as well. The touchscreen does lag a bit when you press stuff. Sometimes you hear the ding, but nothing happens. This one has heated seats, which are either on or off. So either you're going to toast your bum, or it'll be cold. You get the steering wheel from a Volkswagen Golf. That's where this has come from as well. So parts are coming in from other part bins. Everything in here is pretty good. I've reviewed the interior of these cars before. You can get a glass roof. Like, everything in here is nice. Just the issue with charging right now. And it's unfortunate that in the car's network system, there is no way of finding out anything about the charge that's going on. So no matter what I press, no matter what I do, charger connect. I know the charger connect, but tell me how I'm charging at. It doesn't tell me any of that. So anyway, let's let this charge up a little bit more, and we'll take it for a spin, and I'll give it a full proper review, right? After I get the charge, done so with the charge, wait, charge. So I've charged the car up 212 kilometers in the tank. It's not quite full, but we're going to trundle away and see if we can find charging somewhere else and find out if it's the chargers or if it's the car. Because if I go to a third charger, I get the same result as the car, right? But if I got 2 chargers in the same place, you run off the same substation. Just wonder if the substation is the problem rather than the cars. Anyway, no matter. This, as I've been driving, this feels very same as the EcoCars one, but as I've been driving around it, there is a couple of little subtle differences that I think the software update has done. One, I can charge the car with the doors open, unlocked, whereas in my own car I can't do that, to the software update. And the screen isn't quite as laggy in this one as it is in my own one. So when you touch something like that, you get the ding and then it changes over. So it does get there. It's still a little bit laggy here and there though. Not that I mind that too much. I'm okay with that. Now, one thing I haven't really done much of in my own MG is drive out on a motorway at higher speeds. And I thought to myself that, you know, that's an important test, because all EVs struggle a bit on motorways. They all do, just because the relentless power needed to push the car through the wind aerodynamically is much greater on a motorway than it is around a town. So around town stuff, electric cars are great, you know, they really work because you're only just sprinting from place to place. But out on the motorway, what I'm going to do right now is head out on the motorway and get up to full speed and actually use the car as it's supposed to be used, which a lot of you will be doing on a motorway. That classic old question asked by journalists, can I drive from Dublin to Cork and back in the same tank of fuel, and then what's the problem then? I've never done that. I've never asked that question, to be honest, with EVs. Anyway, let's get it up to speed. And then we click in the active cruise control. You can see I've set it for 120, and this is it at 120 kilometers an hour. As you can see, electric cars can go just as fast as any other car on the road. Lots of young people do ask, how fast can it go? You go, well, it can do 120. That's all you really need to know. I can comfortably sit here cruising at 120. Now, you will lose a lot of speed on the motorway in one of these cars, because right now on the outside of the car there is a cushion of wind that is doing its absolute best to drag this car to a stop. It's called a drag coefficient, and essentially that wind wraps its way around the car and creates drag on the back of the car, which holds the car back. It's like a big elastic band hanging around behind it. Update on, I'll cut that out, but update on the charging problem with MG. MG Ireland has rang me, and they're going to get the head of the service division for MG Ireland to give me a buzz and talk about what the problem is. I'm off to junction 14, see if the charge rate is the same there as it is on the other chargers. Okay, I've come here to junction 17, 14. Junction 14, I keep saying 17, but it's actually junction 14. Sorry, junction 14. I've plugged in the MG here again. So we're going to see what it's charging. I've charged about 3 or 4 minutes now. So I'm going to see what it's charging at now. It's a bit harder to see this one. Hold on. You can see that it's kind of scratched up or something on the inside. It was 31.6. So I'm not sure you can see that. It's 31.6 is charging at here as well. So the problem's with the car, right? And that's 2 cars at 3 chargers. So I can't be more fair than that. So I've asked MG Ireland for clarification as to why it charges at only 30 kilowatts per hour at a fast charger, which this is a 50 kilowatt. I've tried the 100 kilowatt, 150 kilowatt and the 50 kilowatt one in Portlaoise. So anyway, brilliant car. Just don't want to go very far while it's charged at 30. It'll take a long time to charge a car at 30 kilowatts. It'll take like 2 hours when it should take 40 minutes in the difference. It's a lot. Anyway, let's crack on with the road. I don't need to charge. Anyway, end rant. This has been kind of ranty. The car itself, super. Very affordable. Nice range of options on them as well. Very good. Great to see the cat among the pigeons, to really start ruffling feathers out there and making some headway on the prices particularly. I'd love to have you along for the rest of this EV ride, so hit the subscribe button. Thanks very much. There's a list of links down below if you want to get in touch with me at any point. There's also a list of support links if you want to support the channel physically. But it'd be really nice to have you along as a patron while I'm here. Anyway, look after yourselves, and until the next time, I'll see you on the far side.